So today we have the OG Guardians of the Globe taking on Battle Beast. Who wins? Let's find out. And just for clarification, I will be using a composited version of both sides from the comics and from the show. So, let's get started with Battle Beast. He easily overpowered and brutalized a young Invincible, not to mention mowed through the new Guardians of the Globe. Even Monster Girl, he just plowed through them like they were nothing. He's mowed through armies of Viltrumites and Ragnars single-handedly. And then there's his fight with Throg. He matched the most brutal and powerful Viltrumite at the time, blow for blow, and one of the most bloody fights in all of comics for days. This fight lasted for days. He destroyed one of his eyes and was piercing through his skin with his fangs and claws and just really busting Throg up. He may have lost in the end, but his fight with Throg was better than Throg's fight with Omni-Man was. And then he endured that same battle for days, fighting through severe injuries like it was nothing up until his death. After falling from space, he landed on his feet with no injury. And he survived the destruction of Veltrum, a planetary explosion. And he was fast enough to match Throg in combat for several days, despite being injured. And we know Throg can move at several Mach speeds at the least. He was a warrior through and through. He traveled the cosmos to find and kill strong opponents. And he had so much honor in fighting that if his opponent was injured before the fight, he would then injure himself to make it fair. He was a very skilled and savage combatant, brawler, and melee fighter. Fighting is all he knew. He loved it and he was very good at it. And he only had one goal: to die at the hands of a strong and worthy opponent. He also carried this really big mace and sword as his two weapons, not to mention his fangs and claws were very, very strong and sharp as well. So, that was Battle Beast. But in the other corner, the Guardians of the Globe. The Guardians of the Globe, the original version of the team, was basically Image Comics' version of the Justice League. They're by far the most powerful superhero team on Earth. The Immortal was the Superman. He was a Celtic warrior who was granted immortality along with flight and vast superhuman strength, durability, and speed. He was strong enough to generally overpower the Mauler twins with ease and fight against Omni-Man. He could also take Nolan's hits very well and could fly at Mach 3 speeds at least. He had centuries of fighting experience and was the leader of the team. Darkwing was the Batman of the team, a vigilante who protected Midnight City. His arsenal consisted of a hoverboard, magnetic handcuffs, grapple gun, and small explosives. He was also a master combatant as well and could overpower most human opponents. War Woman was basically the Wonder Woman of the team and was second in command. She could fly and hit Omni-Man hard enough to cause him to bleed, as well as send the Mauler's twins flying. She was a skilled warrior and carried a mace into battle. Red Rush was the fastest man alive. He was able to change clothes, stop a crime, and run back to his picnic date before his girlfriend could turn back around. His perception of time was so fast that he always got bored in conversation because of how slowly he perceived them, as well as everything else around him. He was even a hair faster than Nolan, being the only one able to react to his initial attack and save his teammates during the fight several times before he was eventually killed. Aquarius was a humanoid fish who was the ruler of the ocean. His only power we saw from him was hydrokinesis. His water blast floored the Mauler twins and staggered Nolan, and he also probably had some form of superhuman strength and whatnot as well. Martian Man was an exiled Martian turned hero who could fly and become elastic, a form he usually used to ensnare and restrain enemies, and he was able to do this to Omni-Man twice. And when he did this, this allowed the rest of the team to just beat the snot out of their opponents. And lastly, Elena. After eating this green amulet thing, Elena becomes the Green Ghost. She could fly, but more importantly, turn intangible, allowing her to phase through anything. She could also turn other people intangible by touching them. So, who wins? A bloodthirsty warrior who lives for the fight with strong opponents, or the most powerful superhero team the world has ever seen? Well, the Guardians' big problem is that we know they were a team for at least 20 years and probably had defeated several powerful threats, similar to the ones Nolan mentioned at their funeral in the show, like massive kaijus, ancient forces, monsters of the deep, etc. However, outside of the Immortal, the team barely has any feats to mention, as they were slaughtered at the start of the show. There's not much about them in the comics either. A similar fate happened to them. um, and let's be honest, Darkwing and Aquarius aren't doing anything to Battle Beast. They will get killed instantly, obliterated. The only reason Green Ghost doesn't die immediately is because she can turn intangible, and she wouldn't be able to do any damage to Battle Beast. So, I mean, it's only a matter of time for her. But then there's the other four members. The two true heavy hitters, the Immortal and War Woman, are the only two that can really physically fight with Battle Beast. However, neither of them are as strong as him. Seeing how Martian Man could restrain Nolan with his elasticity, he could do the same to Battle Beast. Actually, when he did do this against Nolan, this allowed the Immortal and War Woman to just start beating the tar out of him. A similar strategy could play out here. And then Red Rush could probably do the same thing in this fight as he did in the fight against Omni-Man. Run around and push his teammates out of the way of Battle Beast's devastating attacks. However, I'm not sure if he's truly faster than Battle Beast. We know he was a hair faster than Nolan, but we also know Throg was more powerful than Nolan, and Battle Beast matched Throg while injured. So I'm not sure if Red Rush is actually faster than Battle Beast. But there's always strength in numbers, and not to mention in the fight with Nolan, there was probably a sense of holding back, as he had been their friend for 2 decades. There will be none of that here for Battle Beast. To the team, Battle Beast is a bloodthirsty monster villain that needs to be stopped. However, all of that is just a formality. Battle Beast is a true warrior. He loved the taste of his own blood. Being severely injured that didn't slow him down. And if Nolan killed them all by himself in a 7v1, so can Battle Beast, as he is stronger and just as brutal, if not more so, than Omni-Man. He wins after a brutal fight. He will get bloody up. He will be injured. It will not be easy. It would probably be a similar fight scene to the ones the Guardians had with Omni-Man. But at the end of it, I doubt he would even be put in a coma. He will kill the last one, probably the Immortal, lick his chops, and walk away and carry on about his business. And tend to his wounds later, or not at all. I don't know. My point is, Battle Beast wins at the end of the day. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy. Leave a comment of what you thought, and hit the notification bell to be notified of all my future videos and all the great stuff. I truly do appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!